con los terroristas.
Harlem Shake.
Alright, I want to show you the empirical formula. What you do is, you look at the question. You notice how it's 63% and 37%? It equals out to 100. So then you can assume that there's 63 grams of magnesium and 37 grams of oxygen. You find out what the molar mass is, or not, yeah, the molar mass is 55 grams per mole, 16 grams per moles, and you turn it into moles. So you just divide it. Then, I don't do after this part. Hey, help me out here. So what do you do to this part? I don't understand it. So you're telling me that you divide by the smallest number? Alright, then how, and then it just equals out to 1 and 2? Oh, so then it becomes magnesium and oxygen? Oh, there you go.
Okay, today we're going to learn about the
Molecular formula.
In order to solve, here's the equation. Suppose the compound is made up of 174 grams. Now use the empirical formula of MnO2 to solve for the
Molecular formula.
Now previously, the empirical formula is 178 grams per mole, and grams of compound over the empirical formula is
Molecular formula.
Okay, I forgot how to do this part. Really? How do you do this part again?
Well, you just plug in the grams of the compound over the empirical grams, and then it's 174 over 87, and that equals to 2, and then you just multiply the whole compound by 2, and it's Mn2O4.
Oh.
Go.
Alright, so with this information given, we need to find out the empirical formula. Well, using these percentages, it all equals out to 100%. So we can assume that this 71, 24, and 4 are their own grams. We divide by the atomic mass to get the moles, divide by the smallest number of moles. We can see using this example that we'll get 1, 1, 2. That means we have 1 chlorine, 1 carbon, 2 hydrogens. Chlorine, carbon, dihydrogen.
I just told you what the name was.
I forgot it.
Chloroethane.
My name Mo.
We found earlier that the empirical formula was ClCH2, which comes out to 49.48 grams. So the molecule weighs 98.96 grams per mole. So now use the empirical formula to solve for the molecular formula. And remember, the molecular formula is equal to grams of molecule divided by empirical grams. So we plug in the 98.96 and divide it by the 49.48 that we solved for the empirical formula, and we get 2. So then we multiply the entire empirical formula by 2, and we get Cl2C2H4, which is also known as dichloroethane.
We need to stop. Okay, so the percents that we are given are 43.64% of phosphorus and 56.3% of oxygen. And so we take the molar mass of both of those and find the moles. And so phosphorus is going to equal 1.409 and oxygen will equal 3.523. And you divide by the smallest number of moles, so you divide by 1.409 for both. So you get 1 and 2.5. And this will be the empirical, but you can't have a decimal form, so you have to have even numbers. So you multiply each by 2 and gives you P2O5.
Okay, so now we're going to find the molecular formula for P2O5, and the empirical mass is 141.94 grams. And then to find the molecular formula, it's the molar mass over the empirical mass, and that's going to equal 2, and then you just multiply P2O5 by 2, and it's P4O10.
I started making
So
awkward